I read 29 books in 1 week. I'm awesome. The thing is, though, it really only was about 283 pages, and I was listening to it. That's it. That's my intro. Hi, I'm Amanda. You're watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are talking about the Headway app. So I feel like I definitely have heard other creators, mostly productivity creators, hustle culture creators, talk about Headway before. And now that I've actually used Headway, I'm 90% certain that more of them use it than they let on, because I doubt they're all reading the amount of books that they say they are reading. My brain would be numb, and I like reading. But first, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Blueland. I've been on a personal journey trying to eliminate a lot of the waste and single-use plastic in my life and in my home. Blueland sent me a bunch of their glass bottles for their Disney collaboration. Their glass bottles are all reusable, and they sell a variety of their tablets, which come in compostable packaging. You just put your bottles with warm to hot water, toss in one of your tablets, and then you have foaming hand wash ready to go. They pride themselves on planet and people-friendly ingredients, which means no ammonia, no bleach, no phthalates, only the good stuff for you, your home, and the planet. Maybe me telling you about how good this is for the planet isn't enough. You know what else it's good for? Your wallet. Typical household hand soaps can run you like $6 to $8. However, all the refills for your Blueland bottles are about $2, and you get 9 ounces of hand soap out of that. It's a pretty good deal. It's better on your wallet and the planet. Like I said, they sent me their current Disney collection, which has a variety of beloved characters on the bottles like Minnie, Daisy, Donald, and Mickey. Get 15% off your Disney and Blueland hand soap. Go ahead and click the link in my description box to get yours today. Thank you again to Blueland for sponsoring this video. I heard about Headway because I spend quite a bit of my time on Pinterest, mainly because I'm trying to remain motivated, and other social media platforms make me feel bad about myself sometimes. Pinterest is that pretty land where I can just make mood boards, motivational pages, books that I am probably gonna never actually read, which is where Headway comes in. I have so many things that I wanna do, and only the same 24 hours in the day as everyone else. So I like to spend time fantasizing, manifesting, if you will, things that are hopefully will happen, and I will hopefully find time one day to do. But until then, I just read about them and make boards on Pinterest. I saw this infographic, and this is what I hate about Pinterest lately, is they hide ads in what look like regular posts, but you don't know you're clicking on an ad until you've already clicked on it, and then it's not just a regular post, it's like a scroll through. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like that model. It drives me nuts, and it's so hard to see because the writing is so small in the app, and even on a computer you can hardly tell. Anyway, I clicked on this advertisement that was like 10 books to read to make life better or something like that, and it was like a couple of books that I had actually heard about and were already on my to read list or to get list, whatever. My to be read pile is dummy high, but like these were books that I'm like, okay, cool, eventually I will do this, because what I'm trying to do lately is a nonfiction book and then a fiction book, 30 minutes each day. Is that not practical for me? No, but I try. I make an effort. I was just going to add this screenshot or this picture to my books tab on Pinterest. However, it then took me to an ad for Headway, and I was like, okay, I've heard of Headway before. What is the deal? So I started looking into it. Let me read you their app profile.
Chapter 2.
No. Oh yeah. The book that I finished this research on is How to Sleep with Any Girl. Oh God, none of them want to sleep with me. So Headway is described itself as self-growth challenge. Books to become a better you. Boost your personal growth with key insights from the world's best books on productivity, business, negotiation, money, health, love, investment, and more. Busy schedule? Well, no wordy books here. Only 15-minute summaries and inspiring widgets to keep you motivated on the journey to your better self. Their whole thing is that they take popular self-help books and they make Quibis of them, quick bites of those books to take the key segments, and they break them down into little sections. And either they're summaries, like they said, 15-minute summaries-ish, 15 to like 17 minutes, although also I kept listening on 1.25 speed because I have anxiety. But they also have an audiobook version, which is predominantly what I used. I barely read any of the summaries because the thing about me is, for those who don't know, I have dyslexia. I've done a lot of tutoring and stuff. It doesn't bother me all that much anymore. Mainly, it bothers me when I'm stressed out or things like there's certain things that cause it to like become elevated. The thing about reading for me, and this is something that I had to implement in middle school when I was learning how to read and learning how to learn differently, is that I have a 100-page rule. Usually I don't have to use it anymore. And I barely have to use it on fiction books. But the 100-page rule is that if I am reading a book and I am bored or I'm frustrated or I don't like the book, I make myself at least get to 100 pages. Because then I will know by that point, is it just the book itself that's causing me to be bored and frustrated? Or is it my struggle to read it? Is it actually the book is fine and it's just my own frustration with my inability to read and things like that that's causing that frustration and anger and my disliking of the book? 9 times out of 10, it was the dyslexia. And then there are times where I read books. If you go on my Instagram, there's a couple of tags in there where I do not finish a book, and there's only one recently that happened where I'm just like, this book sucks, okay? And I think I got to 200 pages. I pushed it a little harder on that one. I was like, hopefully something will happen. Nothing happened. I got bored. But the problem with nonfiction books is that there's less of a story there. I need a magic system. No, I'm kidding. Certain nonfiction books I can read no problem. And then other nonfiction books I just find tedious. And it doesn't matter if I have the 100-page rule or not. There's just so much information there that there's a lot of filler to fill up, 200, 300 pages of a book or whatever. And it's just not ideal for me learning wise. It's just not. I do better. Like, I remember podcasts that I listened to 3 years ago better than I remember nonfiction books that I read 2 months ago. There's certain things that just the way my brain works and things like that, certain nonfiction books just aren't for me. And so the fact that I have such a high nonfiction TBR is ridiculous. But what I like about Headway is that they also have their summaries in audiobook form. And I do occasionally listen to audiobooks. Currently, I have only listened to the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I think that is from Grady Hendrix. And then also Kat Marnell's memoir, How to Murder Your Life. And the thing about audiobooks is that even with dyslexia, I read faster than these people do. And I know they're telling a story. I know it's supposed to be long, but oh my God, when I log out and then I see that I'm only like 100 pages into a book after listening for 5 hours, I go insane. I really do want to go insane. Mostly audiobooks are not for me. In theory, great. Love the concept. I totally get why audiobooks are a thing. Just not for me. The thing that I liked about Headway was that not only are they quick bites, but I can speed it up in podcast form. So instead of when I usually just play podcasts, like when I'm driving around, I drive back and forth between LA and Orange County a lot because that's where I'm from. It's usually at least a 45-minute drive. I usually throw a podcast on in that time because I find that I sometimes zone out when I'm driving, and so music isn't always the best bet. And I now have a small child, traveling with me, as in Hermes. You guys keep thinking I'm pregnant. It's very weird. I am not pregnant. No one's been near my vagina. I have one son, okay? And every time I mention him, call him my son, my dad gets so mad. It's so funny. Hermes, my son, my furry son. I'm not gonna call him a fur baby because I just don't like doing that. But he is my son. It works well just basically having the Headway app going in the background as a podcast. And so I was able to get through probably more books than the challenges that I did because I just had them going like that in the background and they just start right off the bat. And also I was able to build them a little more. So this is the Headway app. I will put it on the screen. But Headway has these challenges. So they have healthy relationships, it's a 14-day challenge, wealth, 28-day challenge, success, 28-day challenge, achievements, 28-day challenge, close-knit family, 14-day challenge. And I think I picked wealth and then healthy relationships. Yeah, those are the 2 ones I did. Mainly because, it started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then also You Are a Badass at Making Money. And those are 2 books that I've been on my TV read list for a while because financial literacy is not something we're taught. It's something we have to teach ourselves. Love that. Love the American school system. You know what sucks too? My dad is financially literate. What is that with certain parents? Where because the amount of people I know who are like, oh yeah, I'm learning financial literacy because my parents didn't know anything and they didn't know how to teach me that things because they didn't know. My dad knows. He's just lazy. He won't tell me. God, I had to go, we'll go get you a credit card and so you have it, you're building credit. No, I had to go do that myself. I had to wait like 5 years. Love my dad, but oh my God, the procrastination in the Golka family is goddamn ridiculous. Each one, even with like a speed up time, is about 14 minutes on average just playing through. So what will you boost? Budgeting, financial awareness, bold attitudes, investing, and personal finance. The thing about listening to all these books and their, their main takeaways and all of that and the summaries. Now, again, these are someone else's summaries of these books. I have no idea if these are the main takeaways from these books, but based on what I'm hearing, it sounds right. And based on what I've heard about the variety of books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and all of that, sounds right. The thing that you learn when you hear all these Quibis of these books, right after the other, 90% of them say the same thing, just different font. So many of them are just saying the same stuff, but in different ways. It's a little dumb. It makes me wonder who is paying them. And I know it's not just like copy and pasting of the same like summary, because some of the anecdotes are different, but they're the same takeaways. Okay, the takeaways are all the same for a majority of the books. The same goes for a lot of the healthy relationships books. And I got up until day 13 on that one. I'm 92% of the way done. The only one that I didn't read was The Man God Has for You. I'm agnostic, borderline atheist. I don't care what man God has for me. I don't care what the big sky daddy has for me. I just don't care. Some of these books are good and some of them aren't. Some of them I like more. The day one was Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Heard good things about that book. Got a good few takeaways from that one. The 5 Love Languages. Have a New Sex Life by Friday. Hey, having any sex life would be a new sex life for me. Ooh, Attached. Here we go. The New Signs of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. That was day 6. And I think it was that book that told me that I have an avoidant attachment style, which I'm fairly certain just means that I am my own cock block. I would say I'm gonna tell my therapist that, but I'm 90% certain she's already figured that out. So that's fun to deal with. Some of them are just sex related. Oh, The Power of the Pussy. Side note, Power of the Pussy is narrated by a lot of them. Some of them, there's a female voice and 2 male voices that I've heard so far. One of the male voices, I think, is clearly just someone reading, same with the female voice. But then the other male voice is like the robotic male voice that's just from the, what's it called? That's just the automatic voice to text, that like text to voice, that sound. So hearing that voice robotically say the power of the pussy is very funny. I couldn't take it seriously. I almost crashed my car. I was laughing so hard through that book. I couldn't get through it. Ooh, Never Chase Men Again. Obviously, most of these are very heteronormative. They try to slip in like his or her, like they add that in, but it's just the book. What Will You Boost? Empathy, Emotions, Control, Deep Conversations, Intimacy, Affection. They also have collections. So Modern Philosophy Basics, Top 10 to Know History Inside and Out, Best Reads of 2020, Nonfiction Classics. I read a couple of the books in Top 10 to Launch a Unicorn Startup, because I have a couple business ideas. I think I got to The Lane Startup. I think that's where I finished, and that was it. Some of these books are better than others. There's a couple of these collections that repeat books that are already done in the what's it called. The one thing I don't like about the challenges, and I know that's the point, it's a challenge, you're supposed to listen to them all. Some of the books I just wasn't vibing with and I was bored, and I just turned the volume all the way down and just let it play, because I was like, I don't want anything else from this book. But I couldn't skip it or not finish it and go on to the next one. I had to finish that one challenge. I get it, but I would also like to just be able to skip a book and just put it as do not finish. So that's my thought on that. So there's some other categories: self-growth, productivity, happiness. And then one of these threw me off. Fiction. 1, 2, there's 6 books here where they're not really summaries of the books. They're, again, the main takeaways of these books. The one that I was listening to was To Kill a Mockingbird. I loved that book. My book, God, that was probably one of the only books that I like actually legitimately annotated. I know I'm an English major and I bullshitted my way. If you have a degree in English in any capacity, you have a minor in bullshitting. There's a constant tussle between good and bad, both within and without any individual, and it's imperative that we remember good will always prevail. To nip the tendency to be bereft of morals in any individual, make sure they're properly educated. And then the conclusion, it's like Harper Lee is a great novelist. Like, this is a good book. And I feel like we're just boiling it down to like the themes. If you have a project to do on To Kill a Mockingbird, then sure, this is the book for you. But if like you actually want to learn more about the story without actually having to get through it, they have The Witcher on here. The Last Wish. I mean, this one has a better breakdown to it. Geralt of Rivia takes up arms against the forces of evil and tries to hunt them down and exterminate evil from the world. Call of the Wild. A lovable Saint Bernard learns life lessons in the frozen north. 1984. A totalitarian government is one. Like, see, some of these are actually like summaries. And then there's To Kill a Mockingbird, which is like, here's the takeaway. Don't like it. Not a fan. So yeah, just not for me. That's a segment. There's only 6 books in that category. New releases. Fuck Him. Nice Girls Always Finish Single by Brian Knox. A guide for sassy women who want to get back in control of their love life. Building an affair-proof marriage. Ooh, as someone who's a child of divorce, I am not the person to be showing that to. You had me at wolf. There's a lot of dog books on here, which is nice because I have Hermes now. I think there is a purpose for this. I don't think this should, if anything, this is a great way to supplement your reading. Like, there's a couple of books that I know I would like to actually read the book. And then there are a couple of books where I'm like, okay, I think I got everything I need from them. Because like I said, same words, different font. I do like that I can just kind of play it like a podcast and I can speed it through. Yes, I know an audiobook is basically a podcast, all of that. Sometimes I just can't focus. And then also it's a good way to multitask. You know, I'm driving. I need to listen to things and learn about why men love bitches. I keep walking past that book in Barnes & Noble, sorry. The thing that I don't like about the app is certain functionality things. There's just certain tedious things about the functionality that were driving me a little insane. For example, when I'm driving, I have dyslexia, so I often have my GPS going because I mix up right and left. I'm bad at following just verbal directions. I need to have something remind me, telling me, and showing me which way. Side note, can Google Maps stop mixing up left and right? It's gonna drive me insane. You're supposed to prevent me from crashing my car and going the wrong way. Stop it. The thing about Headway is that when the audio, like when it's playing and it's plugged into my speaker system, no big deal, it's playing, and then I get a direction, the app just stops playing. It doesn't pick up itself. And so I have to go back in and hit play again. One, not safe. It's just not safe, especially when driving. There should be a way for it to just keep going. That should just be a thing. And I've noticed that even without, what's it called? Like if I get a text message, I found when I'm playing it, like if I just have it playing while I'm at home, it also will stop certain times. So it's just, for a functionality thing, it's just annoying. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, the inability to skip. Yeah, that's mainly it. That's the main functionality complaint. I think I paid for a year. It was like $89, but I mean, considering the amount of money I won't be spending on books by just, you know, listening to that and seeing whether or not I want to actually go and get the book and read the book in full, kind of worth it, because then I'm not, you know, building up my non-read library. It serves a purpose, and it's not the app for everybody. If you're the hustle all the time, every moment counts, sure, this is the app for you. If you're someone who likes to, you know, unwind, learn, and read at the same time, probably not for you. If you're like me, have anxiety that you're never gonna be able to finish all the books that you wanna read, this might be the app for you. It's just not for everybody. I think it's a great option for people, especially if you have like ADHD and maybe you don't have the attention span to sit and read through a bunch of stuff, but you want to learn. This might be the option for you. Books are books. And this is just another way for you to have access to them. That's gonna be it. Have you ever heard of Headway? Have you ever used Headway? Are there any nonfiction self-help books type of things that you would like to see if they're on the app? Let me know. Comment down below. Don't forget I have a podcast now, Swell Shenanigans. It'll be linked down below. Same with my merch site on Teespring, linked down below. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. You could also support me on Patreon. That'll be listed down below. If you'd like to follow me on my social media, that'll be up here. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. So many of these rise and grind dudes. I can't believe that you're reading all of these books that you're saying you're reading. Thank you, Alan, Alexis, Brayden, Cameron, Christopher, Chris, Cody, Colton, Crash, PC, Destiny, Devin, Dirty One, Dawn, Elliot, Evan, Feckles, Hopeless, Hello, Jacka Ray, Joe, John M, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kevin, Kim, Kristen, Lamb, Lex, Lisa, Louise, Manga, Matt O, Matthew S, Lord the Red, Michael, Micah Jane, Nathaniel, Pat, Penn, Prologue, Robert Ross, Sam, Skylar, Simon, Tasha, Timothy, Tom, Wendy, Williams, Andre.